Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hidden Bias. My name is Nuha Omer, and I'm the host. And I'm honored to be introducing Sonia and Aditi on Unpacking Voices. So I would love to learn a little bit more about who you are behind the mic.
Hi, Noah. Thank you, first of all, for collaborating Hidden Biases, which is your podcast, and making your debut on this, video podcasting. And thank you for this collaboration with Unpacking Voices. I am Sonia Prashar. I am founder and CEO of AIM Trials. It is a clinical research company based out of Dallas, Texas. We are primarily into mental health, and that is something which is my passion, is to navigate the space of mental health in pediatrics and adults.
All right. Hi, I'm Aditi Deeker, and I basically do marketing and outreach for AIM Trials. And thank you for having us, and thank you for doing this collab.
Yeah, I love to learn more about your backgrounds and kind of what made you who you guys are today and how that kind of impacts what Unpacking Voices will look like as well. So moving into that, I would love to learn more about what was the spark of Unpacking Voices, how did y'all start it, and kind of what made you and motivated you to create this video podcast and beyond.
I guess through my journey, specifically for being in this space for almost now about 20 years, I ended up meeting so many individuals, so many people with different stories, different backgrounds, and each one of these stories were something that needed to be told. There was, like, we're in 2025 and we're still living by certain stigmas, which, if you think about it, in a real world, retrospectively, real world thing, these shouldn't be even stigmas as of that we should be living with.
Yeah.
And it could be as simple as a mom taking care of herself, or a dad deciding to be a stay-at-home dad, or somebody telling a dad saying, hey, be a man, you can't cry. These are, if you look at it, these are small things, but they do affect an individual at a deeper level.
Yeah.
These were stories that needed to be told. These were stigmas that needed to be broken. And I guess same thing for Aditi. I mean,
So I went to a lot of meetings. I go to a lot of community events and meetings, and I meet a lot of people. I see them, I talk to them, and it's just their stories and what they represent, that kind of had me thinking about, hey, this needs to be told, and so I spoke with Sonia, and it was kind of like it clicked. It was just like, oh, why don't we do something about it? Why don't we get the voices of these people out? Why don't we unpack these voices?
Right? And we're just hoping that with this podcast, even if we're able to make a small impact within the community, we're able to reach the audience to help them understand that it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
I think that would be a win.
Yeah. And I would love to hear more about these guests that you're speaking of. Like, first of all, not even talking about the kinds of episodes that you will be bringing out yet. I wanted to learn more about the types of guests that you're bringing on. How do they feel about being on this podcast, and what you guys are doing to contribute?
So we have a list of people that are going to be guests on our podcast, and it wasn't easy because we have, in our community, in our society itself, we have a lot of influential people. We have a lot of people who have voices they want to share, right? So we kind of really had to sit down and basically grab a few people whose voices we believed should be heard by the society, for the society. So it was kind of just like, hey, like, what about, what if we talk to this person and see what they think, that kind of a thing. And luckily, so far we haven't had any issues, and we hope to keep it that way.
Yeah, in fact, more and more, like, the people we reached out to, because like she said, we had a list of people that we had in mind. These are people who have done something in their own little way. They've done something that is not a norm. Essentially, it's something out of the box thinking. And when we reached out to these individuals, I don't think there was not even a single person who said, "Oh, let me think about it." In fact, if anything, that person led on to introducing us to somebody else that they felt would make an impact, because it was something that within our own community they wanted more and more voices to talk about it and make certain things acceptable.
Yeah. So I know, knowing a little bit of background within AIM trials and understanding the kind of stigma that you're breaking as well with mental health in the South Asian community, do you feel like there are parallels between the work that you're doing with AIM trials and the work that you're doing on Unpacking Voices?
Yes, I would say definitely. Just because it is creating opening doors for people to understand that, you know, in today's society, in today's world, that mental health is important, and it's definitely opening doors for, you know, AIM Trials is a company which Sonia started wanting to help others, and we want to help others, and I think this is also another way of helping others. We are spreading awareness.
That's amazing. I really appreciate that, and I love how you're shining spotlights on so many different people who really need it. And we always hear these stigmas of a man can't cry, or all these that you brought up, and we always just wash it over, and it always almost seems like something that just happens in the world, but we don't really care about. And so to bring it out into the real world and actually force people to take a look is really important.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like she said, you know, it is just giving back to the community.
Yeah, 100%.
At the end of the day, it's the future that we cannot go back and fix.
Yeah.
We can only
repair.
We can only prepare, and we can only work today to make that future better for others.
Yeah.
And we cannot just sit on the sidelines and expect change to happen. We always hear people complaining about, oh, this needs to change, or this needs to be accepted. How? If we don't take that stance ourselves, nobody's ever going to do it for you. And just sitting on the sidelines, it's not going to magically appear. So why not?
Exactly. So moving into kind of how you guys want to structure Unpacking Voices, what were y'all thinking in terms of the guests that you were bringing on? Will there be a series? Will it be different episodes? How were you guys envisioning?
So when we first started kind of thinking about, oh, like, what should the podcast be called? You know, what are we focusing on? We were kind of like, hey, we had so many ideas. We came up with a lot of ideas, and we were like, let's not rush into just putting all these ideas into like one thing. So we are kind of going season by season. So our first season is going to be all about shattering the stigma, breaking that stigma in the society. So we're going to have powerful people within our community, within our society, who have done things that are shattering these stigmas, you know. So we kind of decided to go up season 1 with that, and then there's more to come. Season 2, season 3, we have a lot in mind.
That's
a lot of good ideas brewing.
So if you guys could tell me, and I don't want to spoil too many episodes, of course, but if you could tell me one episode that you would really want your listeners to listen to, or maybe the first one to really get them into the podcast, what would you recommend?
I think every one of them are going to be very interesting. They are going to be interwoven. The whole plan is to have them woven, but they obviously individually as well. They're going to resonate differently with everybody. Yeah. Because there are going to be topics that we just talked about. It's just going to be so much resonating to a stay-at-home dad, versus there's a podcast that we are doing about confidence in women that would definitely resonate with a lot of moms or women who have taken, let's say, a setback from their careers. They don't know what to do now. So, you know, it's going to resonate differently with individual, but overall, each one of these series are going to be interwoven with each other.
That's really amazing. So it's almost like a pick your own path.
Pick your own path, yes. I think for me, if I were personally looking at it, we haven't shot this one yet, but it is something that we are hoping you will be also a guest on that one. I know we've, I guess, touched about it very loosely, but it is about kids your age whose parents haven't studied here. So in other words, immigrant parents and firsthand experience of what in today's day and age you think as new age generation kids, what parents should or shouldn't do or shouldn't have done. And it is just about hearing your voices.
Yeah.
Because me being a parent myself, I know I would like to listen to what today's youth, today's generation expects from us.
Yeah.
So there's no rule book to parenting, and I think as a parent myself, I'm looking forward for that podcast.
Yeah. And that's so interesting because you're not only tackling like the ability for you to understand and hear your podcast, but
Yes.
you're also tackling how parents can understand
Correct.
and better navigate their own parenting as well. And
Yes.
it's really interesting because I heard this saying from someone else that said also parents are also only living their first life. And
Yes.
so it's really amazing how you're able to connect both of them as well. And so I wanted to also ask you how you envision in the future after these seasons, kind of the impact that you want to make to the community and the society around you.
I think what we discussed was why should we do this? What is the purpose? What are we trying to put out there? And I think what we both came to agreement was that we want people to know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like she said, it's okay to not be okay. And we just wanted people to hear it out, hear us out, hear the people, the society, their community, and just
Hear the
understand-
voices.
Hear the voices,
And hear
yeah.
the stories.
Yeah, and just know that they're not alone and that there are people who have done things to break that stigma,
That's really amazing because you can hear it from both sides as well, right? With the people who consistently live with that stigma every day and who want to find a way to break out of it, and people who are already breaking out of it and feeling rebolstered or reholstered into that idea. And so that's really amazing.
Yeah, and I think part of it, I would say, is kudos to your, hidden biases too, because I believe hidden biases started with a similar track line, where you wanted to reach out to the audiences reach out to, the audiences, because there were so many hidden biases, especially women, that face, and it started with your own mom. I mean, I've known her, I'm very fond of Salima, and, like you and I were talking about it a couple of months back, and it's just very much on the similar lines, is where, except for, yes, this time around, we're talking about just different topics in general, but it's not restricted to women alone or parenting alone. It's just different topics.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, there's, we're a variety here. We're diversity here.
Yeah.
And with that said, obviously there's different stigmas and different issues, and we want to reach out and bring guests who have lived through those stigmas, who have faced the bullying essentially or the backlash from the community, but yet they continued on their path, on their journey, and they're still flourishing and they're doing amazing for themselves as well. And it is just one of those voices that we want to make sure we reach out to the community. And who knows, there could be somebody out there who is reaching out for help, don't know, and they just don't know where to knock.
Yeah.
We could be that door.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and hidden bias really started within the South Asian community as well. And so having it expand and learn more about different voices is just something that I really resonate with as well. And it's really amazing to see more and more creators and hosts being able to bring that out into the world, because at the end of the day, it's the voices that matter, and it's the people that you speak to and interact with that really matter, and spotlighting them is really, really important.
Representation is important, not just at Met Gala, but in obviously every field, representation matters. Because at the end of the day, we don't, nobody nobody likes to feel alone.
Not just that, I think it's also, we are building a village.
We are
here. We're supporting each other.
Yeah, and I think one of the conversations that we recently had with Mary from the Shifley was about support. And basically, if we are not supporting each other, like you said, we are building blocks, right? So if we don't support each other as humanity, who else?
100%. So to end it off, I wanted to ask, as you've been progressing through creating the podcast, interviewing people, was there one specific moment in your time throughout all of this that really made you believe, like, wow, like this is it, like this is what we're doing?
I would say, yeah. I would say, I guess, every day, I would say, because not just in here, but out of here as well. You can see our text, it's like, hey, let's do this, or it's like, I want this person on there, or it's like...
It's literally that way, because it's just, it's, it resonates to like with us as well on so many levels, right? Because I came in when I was in my early 20s. She came in when she was in high school. There are different topics, or I see certain individuals going through certain things, and wow, like it's inspiring for me as well. So I'll text her, hey, look, I think we need to get this one so person on the podcast. I mean, this is an amazing story. But each one of these stories, if you would think of it, they are a university in itself. Each one of these guests, each one of their stories, it teaches us so much. I mean, right from one of our guests, who is also a counselor actually, and he's a dad to a special needs child. He's a counselor, learning how to navigate that space as a parent, to, of course, confidence within women, and learning from youth about how we should be a better parent. There are just so many different conversations happening, and each one of these conversations, when we're done shooting for it, we both literally sometimes sit together and we go, wow, wow, like this is impressive. And these people have done it. They have dared to live that dream, and they have broken that mold. And every day, like, we'll text or we'll be like, how did they do it? How did they do it?
And it's amazing that those same questions that you're asking is what your audience is asking as well.
Exactly.
And they're able to listen and honestly, like, really unpack what they're saying in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, that is amazing. I'm so glad, after knowing you informally and knowing you from the podcast, I'm really glad that you guys have created this and started to really reach out to the community and provide what you can do for them. And I really appreciate that.
We appreciate you coming over and having your debut
Thank you.
for Hidden Biases debut on video podcast.
It's definitely a different experience.
Absolutely.
But it's been a really cool experience as well. I appreciate it.